Hi, welcome to my craft room. Carol Gatton, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and this set is the Glorious Grunge. We're going to start with the pink Pirouette ink pad and a panel of pink Pirouette cardstock. I'm going about 1/4 of the way from the top. I'm stamping half of my stamp in on the left side. Re-ink each and every time. I'm going just beside where I've just stamped, and this time I'm going to use the whole length of this stamp. And just repeat that 1/2, and then it'll be 1/4, and then just a little bit there at the very end. And this will give just a really nice hint of color, kind of a watermark effect that we will use to accent our main color. And our main color will be the rose red, so ink that up once again. And this time, do not press so hard because this is a strong color. And you will just repeat that very same process. And let me remind you that that curved area is the portion of the stamp that goes to the inside. Now 1/2. And then we will do 1/4, and then just barely tap down, and you do not re-ink for that. Now we're going to add some dots to this, so I'm going to start all over again with the pink Pirouette. You want that V portion to be facing to the center at the top. Re-ink it, and this time that V is going to go to that longer center portion. Now I'm going to flip the stamp around after I've re-inked it, and I am going to the opposite side, and then the V now will go down. And we will re-ink it this time with the rose red, and you only ink this one time. First stamping, very gently touch. Second stamping, gently touch. The third, you can put a little more pressure, and it's just the very same process you've done before. And now the last stamping, you can put a little bit more pressure. You can see what a strong color this is, and if you had continued to re-ink that, it'd be too much. This is one of our new stamp sets, Language of Love, and I really, really like this. I'm going to stamp my heart with the rose red onto a piece of the pink Pirouette. And then I think I'll stamp a couple of the banners. Go to my website at stampqueen101.com, and there you're going to see all the information, all the sizes and dimensions for making this card. I have just a scrap of cardstock, and then this piece of designer paper is from our stack packs, and I don't know if you've ever worked with those, but oh, they're wonderful. You get 10 colors in each family. It's great to work with. Now we're just going to trim around these banners so that we have them all ready when we're ready to adhere them on. And then just set those aside. And the good news is you get to use the framelit, the second from the smallest, for our heart. And there we go. Get that all lined up. And you see I'm using my magnetic plate. I tell you, that can spoil you very, very quickly, because then you don't want to cut anything out without it. It just makes it so easy. And we're going to use that same framelit for our designer series piece of cardstock. Run that through and then set that aside as well. We're going to change now, and we're going to use our regular platform on tab 1, and we're going to bring in our fancy fan embossing folder. And let me just remind you, feel of that inside, and the side that is smooth is the side that your heart will face down, and that pushes that image then through from the back side. Okay, run that through and set that aside. Have you worked with the washi tape? This is the Gingham Garden, and you get 3 rolls in a package, and this is just a fun thing to work with. At first I had my doubts, but I love it. You just tear it off, and then you fold it to the back. The thing that's so cool, if it's in the wrong place, you can just pull it right back up and place it right back down again. In this case, I'm just bringing up a little bit so that I can trim out that edge so that I have a point there at the end. This is the Chevron Cherry Cobbler ribbon, and I am positioning that just under that washi tape. And let me show you how I like to adhere my ribbon on. I go a couple of times with my snail, then I press the one side only into the adhesive, bring it around to the right side and make sure that I've got that lined up exactly where I want it, and then you can push the opposite side into the adhesive. Boy, doesn't that make it easy? And now I think we'll add a little bit of the white baker's twine to this, and I'm going to aim for the center of this chevron ribbon. And now you get to watch me tie a bow. And you'll get to watch me fiddle with this over and over and over again. I couldn't seem to get my hands off of it. Okay, so we're almost there. You know what it's like when you're on camera? It's like you're all thumbs. There we go. Looking good. Okay, I'm going to use the Anywhere glue to adhere these onto that card base. And I'm using the silicone craft sheet. I love this thing. It just, that adhesive will wipe right off and makes it so convenient, so your work surface is always clean and not sticky. I don't like a sticky work surface. So I'm putting this near the top, and you can see I'm only positioning that stamped heart so that I can get a feel for exactly how I want this tilted behind it, so I can glue that on. Okay, now I want the peak down on that washi tape, and just remove that and add your last banner. It's coming together. For my verse, I'm going to be working with the Teeny Tiny Wishes, and I love this set. It's one that I've had for a long time, and it's a go-to stamp set because you've always got a greeting for whatever card you're working with. Rhinestones, we're going to add just a little bit of bling to this, which really, to me, I can hardly make a card without bling. So I'm adding 3. It's better to work with odd numbers. You can work with the paper piercer or the scissors as I just showed you. And I'm going to add a couple of more, one by the verse and then one right up here near the top. Okay, and then 2 dimensionals near the top of your heart. You do not want dimensionals down in your peak because that's going to go under that baker's twine. And I want that to be tilted ever so slightly, so kind of play with it till you get it just the way you want it, and then you can press it down. Okay, and now it's time to play with that baker's twine again. Okay, now my favorite adhesive is the multi-purpose, and there are 2 ends to this. There's a broad tip, and then there's the fine tip for little detailing. But there is a suction between it, so you want to make sure that the cap is on when you're working with one end or the other. The thing I love about it the most is it gives me a wiggle time there, so if I get it and it's not exactly straight, I can pull that right back up and reposition it. And now let's trim this off, and we are all finished. I hope you will make this card or one similar to it, and thank you so much. Until next time.